The ending of Flightplan explained. The 2005 psychological action thriller Flightplan stars Academy Award winner Jodie Foster as Kyle Pratt, who suffers every parent's nightmare when she loses track of her daughter. The bigger problem, though, is that they're trapped aboard an international flight from Berlin to the United States, and there are only so many places her daughter could have. Pratt's ordeal takes an even more sinister turn when newly discovered evidence suggests that her daughter may be little more than a figment of her imagination, and she's suddenly faced with the possibility of losing her grip on reality. Is it possible that Julia, Marlene Loston, doesn't actually exist? Or is there an intricate deception going on, a complex plot being carried about by some unknown agent aboard the plane conspiring to kidnap her daughter for a nefarious purpose? These are the questions that Pratt must face, and the audience must attempt to unravel as the flight heads to its destination. During the course of the film, it seems like an enemy could be around any corner. Could it be a scheme by international terrorists or a conniving captain, or is the flight's designated sky marshal no more than he's letting on? In a stunning final act, all the answers are revealed. And we're here to get to the bottom of it all, from a nerve-wracking chase through the bowels of the plane to the film's many spine-tingling twists. Stow away your tray tables and put your seat in an upright position, because this is the ending of Flightplan explained. When Flightplan begins, Kyle Pratt, an airline engineer and designer of the Elgin E-474 double-decker passenger jet, is in Germany, identifying the body of her husband David, John Benjamin Hickey, who recently died after a fall. Kyle is having visions of her husband and is understandably distraught, but must collect her young daughter Julia for the trip back to the United States. With her husband's body in a casket secured with a digital passcode, they board an Elgin E-474 and depart for home. Not long after takeoff, however, Kyle loses sight of Julia aboard the plane when she falls asleep after taking anxiety medication. Captain Rich, Sean Bean, reluctantly orders a search of the jet from nose to tail but turns up nothing. Kyle is even more disturbed, however, when she learns that nobody aboard seems to even remember that her daughter existed, and Julia's name is not on the plane's manifest. Then, when records back in Berlin say that Julia died along with David, Kyle must face the possibility that she's suffering from hallucinations. But Kyle's discovery of her daughter's presence, in the form of a heart she'd drawn on the plane's window, sends her on a desperate fight to prove her daughter has been kidnapped. Knowing the ins and outs of the plane's design, she must elude the crew, including Sky Marshal Gene Carson, Peter Sarsgaard, to find Julia and discover who is responsible for her daughter's disappearance. What happened at the end of Flightplan? Throughout Flightplan, Kyle is presented with overwhelming proof that she's been suffering from tragedy-induced hallucinations. She's told that her daughter is dead, and the lead flight attendant even insists that Julia never boarded with her. Meanwhile, Carson the Sky Marshal, sympathizing with her plight, enlists the aid of a therapist among the passengers to help her understand that what's happening may all be in her mind. But Kyle is unwilling to shake the feeling that something may have happened to Julia aboard the plane, and she rushes to find her daughter, who she believes has been kidnapped by an unknown enemy. Sneaking into the plane's hold, Kyle unlocks her husband's casket, thinking Julia may be hidden inside, but finds only David's lifeless body. But because she's gone rogue, Captain Rich believes Kyle is now a danger to the flight, and has the flight diverted to Newfoundland, where they will have her arrested. It's then that Rich is informed that Kyle is not what she appears, and is told that she's actually a terrorist holding the flight hostage for a large ransom, and has been using her daughter's apparent disappearance as a ruse. Kyle realizes that she's being framed as a hijacker when the plane lands in Newfoundland. Knowing her daughter is still hidden aboard the plane, and deducing the mastermind of the entire plot, Kyle thinks on her feet to turn the tables on the real villain. Director Robert Schwenke isn't the only one to discuss the ending of Flightplan. Star Jodie Foster also opened up about her character Kyle's evolving story in the film, and where she winds up when it's all said and done. Describing the film as a personal journey, she said it's a glimpse at how one woman reacts under the greatest sort of stress and panic, during an interview with noted film critic Emmanuel Levy. Kyle isn't really so much heroic as she is absolutely driven. She might sometimes be brash, sometimes irrational, other times manipulative. But she will do anything she can to find her daughter. As detailed by The Guardian not long after Flightplan hit theaters, the Association of Flight Attendants, the union that speaks on behalf of flight crews in the United States, along with sister union the Professional Flight Attendants Association, condemned the film for its portrayal of the staff aboard the movie's airline. In particular, they took issue with how unhelpful many of the flight attendants in the film were, which they believe gave them a bad name, as well as for portraying the leading flight attendant as a participant in a terrorist plot. And that's a wrap on today's review. Whether you loved the film or felt it missed the mark, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into cinema, and ring the bell so you never miss a review. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious, stay critical, and keep watching great films.